Hello guys, welcome back to a new tutorial on the channel. I'm Max and we are back at a new episode where we are animating two screens in Principle. I have a UI kit that is also linked down in the description, so you can download this for free. And all we have to do is to open up the UI kit in Sketch. After that we can go to Principle and simply hit the import button. So it takes some seconds to import all the artboards. Actually, we don't need them all, so we could have deleted them in Sketch already, but let's just do this right now here in Principle, which is also just fine. Just get rid of those you don't need for your animation, or keep them and reposition the artboards. We only need these two artboards right here, and we are animating them right now. So what we are going to do is a tab on this screen right here will navigate us to this detailed message screen. So we can check out what's already happening, and you see that probably some of the layers have the same name. So that's the reason why some elements are currently like flying around right here, but we don't really want that, so we just do some editing right in Principle. So, well, first of all, I would like to have the avatar going up to this position. So it's avatar 4, and let's look to the second screen, and here it's just avatar. So you will see after I renamed it that we have an animation of this avatar photo going up to around this position. Let's look at it. You see it's going up. We want the same to happen with the text right here, with these two text layers. So I'm going to make it easy, and I will call this text 1. And I will call this right here text 2. And we are going to do the same with our second screen or second artboard, like this. So let's try it again. You see, because of all the animation and because of the white background right here, that we really don't see that the name and this message description, short description or headline isn't animating, but it's actually also moving to the top. And we are now doing something else. You see that we have a base, the base 3 in this case, and we have our detailed message, which seems not to have a background, and we will change that. So you saw that we have this base layer right here, and we are going to expand the layer. So let me just try something. I will copy this base 3 layer and I will paste it at the bottom of this screen right here. So we will then use this to just expand the layer to like this. This looks kind of weird now, but we will just make some adjustment to that so it will look fine. So about like this. And now it's not really making a great animation. So that was just a try and error thing that I wanted to do right now. And what we are now going to do is to just rebuild this base layer, which is right here, with a rectangle that is available for us right in Principle. So just create a new layer, drag it to this position, and we can add a radius like this, radius of 4 maybe, and we can also of course change the color with our pipette tool to this color, like this. So now we have our layer. I call it, for example, item. Let's copy this and let's paste it over on our second artboard. Now we will go to this position and we will drag it to our content. Drag it to the correct position like this and expand it to the whole screen. We can get rid of the radius like that, and we can also change the filling color to white or to gray or whatever you want. Let's just try out white, and I would like to just go into this animation details right here, and let's search for the item, which is the background that we just did. We can select, for example, the fill, and we can say let's change the time when the filling, the color basically is being changed from this blue purple to white a little bit later, and we can now see that it's still looking a bit weird because one item is like flying from the bottom to the top, and we should just fade this out. So let's just select it. It's called base right here, and we can simply say base 1, for example, and this will change the item or the base to not fly from the bottom, because I think on our first screen this is probably, or somewhere we have a layer called base, maybe like this one, and that's not looking that nice. So we have it like this. The arrow is making a weird animation, but I think we can figure out something right there. But it looks already okay. I see a weird animation of the PDF going on, so let's look to see what is it called. It's base 2. Now let's go back to our first layer, and now let's see if we find a layer that's called base 2. Because for some reason this PDF is like flying in from somewhere right here, so maybe it's part of this message. And yeah, it is. We have a layer right here. Let's call it base 23 or something like that. So we have unique layer names, and you see it's not flying around in our animation anymore. I would just like to fix the basic animation, and after that we will fine-tune all of the elements that are in the screens right here. So another thing that I don't really like is that the arrows are like flying in from somewhere, and it's like not positioned correctly. Now it is. And we have these lines, and maybe we can even make a nice little animation from the menu to our arrow. So I would like to call this, for example, line 1. Or maybe let's just call this one here line 1, because it's actually the top one. This is line 1, this is line 2, and this is line 3. Like that. Let's go back to the first screen. Oh, okay, I see that here it is called menu, and it's not like single lines, but that's okay, that's fine. We will just copy this group to our first screen, to like this. We can now get rid of the menu, and we can use these lines that we have right here for our animation. So initially it should be that like these three lines are all in a horizontal position. But this can be a problem because they are just exported PNGs or something like that, and we can't really resize them to make them look like this line, which is already horizontal. So we have to make a little workaround. We just select this line 2 and we paste it to like this position, and we rename it again like this. And now I'm going back to the second screen right here, where we are going to paste this group again. And now we are going to give them an angle like this, and it should be probably 45 degrees. This one should probably be minus 45 degrees like this. And now we can simply reposition them like this. Now this looks a little bit weird, so we of course should try to just make them a little bit shorter. So let's change the width to maybe 10 pixels or 9 pixels. And this should also be 9 pixels. Of course, rename the lines again so we can have a nice animation right there, like this. And of course we are going to add the angle again. So we have to do some fine tuning right here to get the correct animation afterwards. Zoom in, and now we can just position them in a way it will look nice. So let's just change it to maybe about this. And about that. So it's not perfect, but maybe we don't really see that in our actual zoom level. So now we have a normal zoom level, and you don't really see that there is like a minor pixel problem. So we will just leave it like that and try out our animation. And you see that the arrows are actually changing. The menu, hamburger menu, is actually changing to an arrow, and this is actually just what we wanted. And what I don't like is how the color is being changed from this darker one to white. So maybe we just go back and say the item shouldn't necessarily be white. Let's just try out some things, and let's look for the best solution. Maybe we can fill in the text somehow. Not really, because it's like connected to media, but we will find a solution for that. Maybe we can even just go back to our animation arrow to change the color, the fill of the item layer. Maybe it should take a little longer. And now we just try again to get a nice animation right there. So it's looking way better now that our animation is taking a little bit more time. I also like that this is a little bit this comes a little bit later than our profile information, which we have right there. And I think we have a minor problem with some centered aspect. So to make this a little bit more pixel perfect, we just reposition that again. Like this. And now it's already looking very nice. What I now would like to see is that all these details right here come in from the bottom. So we go back to our second screen. Let me clean this up for a moment. There are so many groups and so on, and I don't want to get confused by all the details. So we have the attachment part and we have this bottom part. Oops. Both of them are right here. Now they are next to each other, and we have the divider, which is basically just between them, like this. Now we can just go copy these three groups or layers, and we can paste them on top of our first screen, like this. This looks kind of weird right now, but we will just give them a opacity of 0%, so we don't see them on our first artboard or first screen, but it should fade in nicely right now. Maybe we don't see that yet, but we will try it out in a second, because we can also, for example, say these three like layers and so on should actually come in from the bottom. I will just check something, because I think that maybe some of the layer names got changed by copying it. So we have, for example, the action folder. Ah no, okay. They seem to be still the same. Yeah, they are the same. So we have them right here, and as I said, let's just try out moving them to the bottom. And now they should actually fade in from this bottom to this position. And you see, yeah, they're coming up. It's giving us a little bit more of a nice effect like this. And we are going to do the same with this header graphic, the title bar background, base 1. We will just, of course, paste them right there. We can change the opacity to 0% and it should now fade in nicely. So you see it's fading nicely. We can try out different things, like keep the opacity like this, but we can also just change the position of it to about this. So let's try this out. It's coming in from the top. What I'm still not 100% liking is the background of this transforming into a white layer. I think this animation doesn't look that nice, which is kind of annoying to me. So maybe we find a nice or a better solution for that. Let's just try out something different. I will call this, yeah, item 2. And this one is the normal item, and I would like to place the item 2 just below our base, so that both of these layers come in from the top. Let's try this out. currently not making any effect, of course, because we need the base of this layer to be also the background of this one right here. Let's try this out. And actually we just need all of these layers, which are right here, to have, yeah, you will see what I mean. Just copy all of these layers to the background of this one. Oops. Paste it. Now we have many layers in our second artboard, but of course we would like to have all of these layers and messages in general to be animated as well. So we want to have them right here, and we want to click this, and now you see that we have a nice animation of this white and blue, like header in this case, and content background, which are coming from the top. And now that we have all these messages also on our second artboard, we have a nice animation which is not moving from one screen to the other screen, but which is like opening the message above the current layer, above the current artboard. So this is the effect that I wanted to achieve. I would like to play with some of the layers that we have right now. So we have, for example, the title bar and the base 1. So let's just look for base 1. There we have it. We can say it should come down a little bit later. Just trying to make this a little bit smaller. Yeah, now we have it. So let's try it out. It's coming down later. And I would actually like to have this on our full screen, like that. So you see, it's just creating a beautiful animation. Maybe we should just try out to change the item 2 position like this. Let's try it out. Coming down a little bit later, as I said. Just, of course, when it comes to animations, you have to just try out to see what looks best, what works best, and it's sort of like a trial and error thing that you have to do sometimes. But yeah, so here we have this. I actually liked it, how it looked when it was like this. I think this worked better for our solution right here. And now we have to work on the animation of the message title to just make them fading in. Right now you just have this, and we can of course just say the message, and the star should come in from the top, like it's at our artboard right here. So we can simply paste them like this. Now let's try this out. It looks weird that this icon right here is not coming down. So maybe we just position it right here, and we can change the opacity to 0% to make it easy. It's just fading in nicely. Some of the elements are coming up from the bottom, which is working nice, and I think we are just about to finish this animation. I will just click and play it for some tries again to see if we have anything left. But in general, I think this animation is going really well for us. Let's just try it out again. Of course, we can also say, I've almost forgot about that, to animate our back icon to our first screen. Let's try this out, so we have both ways animated. So we have it like this and like that. For some reason this time right here is also animated. We will have a look at that. Let's just have a look at that. It's called date. Let's just call it date 1. And right now we shouldn't have any problems anymore animating or looking at the animation. And it just looks fine. So if you enjoyed this little tutorial, just give it a thumb up or subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you for your time, guys, and enjoy your week. See you!